What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relay reverse rants, no hate. So listen, now I want to say this because if I make a video and I point out one thing, if I find out any information following that same situation, I will speak on that because, like I said, I only report what we know or what we think we know. It's not like we're there to know for sure, right? So we got to go by what we hear. If something doesn't add up and we feel some kind of way, hey, okay. Tyson Fury's daughter, okay, we know the situation. For those who don't know, his daughter was announced dead, okay? She was revived and actually was brought back to life, okay? That right there alone is a big enough distraction for you to not be focused. Now, this doesn't make up for him saying he had, for us finding that, or hearing that he had COVID, and then we see him out not quarantining like he was supposed to, and out here taking pictures all over the place, chilling with COVID, just chilling like that. Okay. And on top of that, there was no actual, out of all the things, him and his father was making videos constantly, right? And this situation kind of got quiet. And then the fact his father was talking, but he wasn't. So all that doesn't excuse that. I'm not holding on to any of it. It is what it is. What happened, happened. But what I'm saying, that his daughter was not the initial reason that the fight with him and Wilder was off. Now, let's just say if that would have happened, if it wouldn't have happened, the fight would have already happened. But that as a distraction, that right there, like my family, something like that, my family gonna come first every time. There ain't gonna be no, well, I don't want people to think that I'm ducking, or I don't want them talking trash. The hell with these people, because these people gonna cheer you and boo you. When you're no longer fighting, some of them will remember you, but that's not gonna change anything. What you did is what you did. Your legacy is what your legacy is. In all honesty, I'll say that being the reason, that had been the reason, there's no question in that. Okay, but with everything that's went down, and it's good to know that his daughter is fine. I know how I feel about my kids, so I can imagine how that, anybody have to deal with that. Now, does any of this stuff that's been going down change or redirect people's interest into this fight? I don't know. Okay? I don't know. The fight failed the first time, and for the third time, the third attempt, it really failed. And we all are aware of that. And I feel like the wrong ingredients was put into this fight build-up in the first place. All of the finger pointing and accusations, and pretty much just a lot of bad blood and a lot of just talk, constant talk. Like I said in the last video, the talk of this fight never stopped. Of what happened, things that the two of them constantly. It never stopped. The excuses, the accusations. Like I said, none of it stopped. And I just feel like at some point it's like, it's like watching a show, right? When the shows are fresh, it's funny. And then sometimes the show just loses steam. At some point. Very, very rarely most shows don't go out while they're still on top. It gets to the point where the ratings drop. People not really checking for the show anymore, and it loses popularity, and then it dies off, okay? And that's what this fight felt like reruns. You just keep hearing the same things over and over, and then a new wrinkle added to old wrinkles. This happened, then this happened. Proof that this happened. Proof that this guy cheated. Proof that this, and all it is opinions and lies, because people was making up stories and what if scenarios. So I think that people really, it was just like overkill. And in all honesty, I'll say it again, outside of Fury and Wilder fans, there's no huge interest in this fight. So my thing is, even with all of the accusations, and even like the things, the COVID situation, okay, or the situation with Fury's daughter, does this just warrant for people to just all of a sudden now they want to see the fight? I mean, That's yet to be seen. But overall, this fight, to me, I'm not interested in it. I think a lot of people just feel like, man, just get the damn fight over with, get it out the way so we can move on to bigger and better things. Because I'm tired of these two. And I'm hearing that. So I know that people feel that way. And I feel like a lot of people that I don't know, like that's what the general consensus is with people. Let's just get the goddamn fight over with. We don't care. Let's just get it over with. And let's see what happens afterwards. Meanwhile, you have other heavyweight fights that you want to see. You want to see other guys get matched up. It's time for guys like FA to step up. Daniel Dubois just had a fight not too long ago since his loss to Joe Joyce. We need certain guys to step up. Like, these guys are all the damn 30 years old, or damn near 30, and they're still, taking these baby steps, fighting these unranked guys. And it's like, at some point, man, you got to test the waters and see what you can do. I mean, you can only protect the fighter for so long. And let me say this for the record. When a fighter is telling you, oh, I got at least 10 more years in this sport, right? And that guy's 30 years old or 28 years old. That's his plan. You never know how long your brain and your body is going to hold up to where you can still perform on an elite level. Because a lot of fighters, like, now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I saw Errol Spence look washed up against Danny Garcia. But, a lot of people are saying Errol Spence is washed up. He's not the same fighter. And I'm watching and I'm like, I don't know how much of that is Errol Spence hate versus people really feeling like that. Because when I watched him fight, I'm feeling like, what I believe is because people were so used to Errol Spence getting knockouts, that now when you're not knocking guys out like you used to, they take that as like, oh, he's not the same anymore. And in all honesty, really, it doesn't make a difference how long you plan on fighting. What it really comes down to is how long you're actually able to fight. And you don't know these things up front. Like I said, your plans may be, I'm going to fight another 10 more years, but we have seen guys that was great up until the time they was 28 years old. We've seen certain guys could do it to the time they was 36 years old. Some guys 38, well, one guy. And then certain guys you've seen do it, I mean, your level of being elite, you can't put a stamp on that. You can't say, okay, I know the day that I'm not going to be the same anymore. So that's your plans. So we don't know. And when I'm looking at the heavyweight landscape, let's just be honest. Outside of AJ, Fury, and Wilder, there's not a lot of talk about the other heavyweights. Heavyweights outside of them that probably get the most talk is Dylan, because his name keeps coming up where he keeps getting screwed and not getting his shot, and he got the number one spot, then he does it, well, he has it, but he's not mandatory. I mean, like, all of this, like, this is just a roller coaster. My point is, these names are not getting mentioned in a good way. And when people are still talking about guys like FA, like I said, like he's a beginner, and Joe Joyce like he's a beginner, and certain guys as if like, they got 5 and 6 more years before. No. These guys need to start stepping up. Whether they got to get new trainers, whatever it may be, whether they have to train it, change their training methods, whatever it may be, they need to start stepping up. Because at some point, and this is something that's hurting boxing as well, because if you look, this is why guys like Tank Davis and Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, they're good for the sport if they do the right thing, because they're young. Most of these guys are starting to finally get some light when they're like 30 years old. And it's like, this dude has been champ for how long? Or this guy has been fighting for how long? And now he's just starting to get some recognition. Like, it's not helping in the heavyweight division. I can say this too. We know there's no superstars in the heavyweight division outside of Anthony Joshua. Who is the next guy that's going to light his own torch and carry it? Because I don't believe in that passing the torch stuff. But however it happens, I don't know. And there's not one person in the division that people see as a clear winner. Like, this guy will beat everybody. I'm not talking about biased fans who sit there and just going to ride for their guy. Because like I said, AJ is the guy that I push for to win. I can't sit here and guarantee you AJ's going to beat everybody, even though I think he can beat these guys. I see he got the ability to beat these guys. I can't guarantee that. I don't watch the fight guaranteeing that. I watch the fight like, let's see what happens. I want to see a good fight. And even though I want him to win, if it's a good fight and boxing scores a big win, the thing is, okay, cool. It's good for boxing, but we need consistency. And that's what we're not getting. So even if you get a good fight, and that's why I respect what Eddie Hearn is doing, because he's trying to put the best fight cards that he can together. And Eddie has had a situation with fight after fight after fight. Fights are getting canceled because of whatever reason. So it's like, one of these things where you can't group all the fighters up in one, and if this guy's lying and he's lying too. But like I said about the excuses, it's gotten to the point where it's like, do you guys really actually want to fight each other, or do you just want to troll each other on social media? Because that's all I really see, is guys taking the time out their day to sit down and do 1.5, 2, 3 hour long videos. They're sitting up here doing all this and just to troll and talk shit. And then it's like, I'm going to tell you exactly what most of these fighters remind me of. All right? I like using professional wrestling references, right? I'm going to use one now. This is what most of these fighters remind me of. And I'm being blatantly honest about the majority of them. You know how you got that bad guy wrestler, that heel wrestler that comes out every week with his suit and tie on and his belt on his shoulder and his shades and talking shit like he's untouchable, nobody can beat him, but yet he barely wrestles? But then you got these guys in here busting their ass, doing all these crazy moves, having great matches, right? And you just can't wait to see somebody take the belt off of this guy. And then when he finally gets in there, he has to cheat to win. That feeling you have when he's like that close to losing, and you're like, come on, get this motherfucker, get him, right? And then, damn, motherfucker lost. Okay. And we got to see this guy come out next week with his belt on his shoulder, with his suit and tie and talking shit, right? And then go into hibernation again. Like, when are you going to wrestle? This is exactly what these fucking boxers remind me of, most of them. They want to talk. They want to stand there with their belts on and talk shit when they do have a fucking fight. And then they take so long to have another fight. And then they just keep talking and talking and talking. And then when they do fight, it's somebody who we don't even care to see them fight. And then when the fight supposed to surface with them and that person, that, yeah, that's a definite go right there. Somehow, the fight just doesn't happen. And this is helping boxing take a turn for the worse. And people are not understanding. The more that we keep having these same things happen, and the more these guys keep feeling confident that they can keep doing it and getting away with it, it's not going to help boxing. And I already have accepted that boxing will never be what it was. Everything changes. I can't say it's evolving. It's changing, though. And I don't feel like it's changing for the better. And this is exactly why I said, why you got the YouTube fighters who can make more money than these guys who are actual world-class fighters and champions. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But again, as far as this fight generating interest, I think Wilder and Fury need to do a better job at promoting this fight. And I think, honestly, I know they need to get away from all of this, like, little sissy back and forth, all these accusations, and then I'm not going to talk when I'm face to face with the guy, and I'm going to keep talking about the first fight and the second fight, and I'm going to keep talking about the guy trying to make a plan to cheat. It's like I said, boxing has become couples therapy. This is not the right formula to build interest into a fight. Now, amongst these little young kids, these little boys out here that run around here into all this drama, and he said this, and he said that, and he said he's going to punch him this way, and he said he's going to hit him that way, and he said, nobody cares about no he said, she said. Mature-minded people are like, look, are you motherfuckers going to fight? Simple. That's all we want to know. We don't care nothing about how you feel about him, how you can't stand his haircut, his eyebrows piss you off. We don't care about none of that. We don't care about none of that. So to all the casuals, to all these dudes who the last fucking fighter that they remember is maybe Floyd Mayweather, or Zab Judah or somebody like that. Not knocking those guys, but what I'm saying, for those guys who mean you haven't been watching boxing. Excuse me. You got turned on to it through social media. See, social media is a help and a curse at the same time. Because one of the things that I see with these guys, they talk, and you can clearly hear they know nothing about boxing at all, and they're just talking like they do because they heard somebody's boxing channel giving them all this biased, false information. And I always tell people, these guys that come with the false narratives are easy to beat. You can easily debunk anything they say, completely humiliate and destroy anything they say with just the truth and the hypocrisy that comes out their mouth. They're easy to beat. One thing, and I never tell you guys to do this, and it's all up to y'all, because to be honest with you, I'm very selective with who comes on this channel. But how we get our community, our boxing community, and our family to grow? Like, subscribe, and share. This is what all the channels that you can't stand, what they do. This is why their channels are so large. That's why when people say, yo, your channel should be way bigger than what it is, man. Like, I like your content, what you're doing, man. You be bringing that truth. I'm doing my part in that. And like I said, I'm not thirsty. I'm not, I need everybody to say no. That's why I never say at the end of my videos, like, share, and subscribe. Turn your notification, but I never do that because in all honesty, like I said, that's up to you guys if you want to do that. But that is the way for the family to grow. Because no matter how much content I drop, no matter how much knowledge and truth I'm giving, no matter how many gems I shine up, polish up, yeah, check this one out, y'all. The people that bring false narratives, but their subscribers is liking and sharing and subscribing and getting all that, they're putting their videos out there. That's why you see these guys 300,000, 400,000 subscribers. This is how they're doing it. So like I said, I'll leave that up to y'all, you know, because like I said, I don't really want to go on here and try to read 20,000 comments and all I'm seeing is suck my dick, kiss my ass, use a bitch ass nigga, fuck you nigga. I don't even want to see that in my comment section. And I know the more people that come on, at some point, that's what you're going to start seeing. And that's why I'm selective with what I do. But that's why, like I said, I don't say that at the end of the videos because that's up to you guys if you want to do that. But that's the way for the family to grow. And the thing is, when you combat these guys, just by using facts, truth, okay, logic and reasoning, it fucks them up because no matter what they're saying and doing, they look and say, damn, this motherfucker got as many subscribers as I do. That's why they try to flag a lot of people. You ain't got to say their names. You ain't got to mention them. All you got to do is mention subject matter, and they feel guilty like, oh, that motherfucker talking about me. And it's all facts. And when they can't fight the truth, they just make up more lies. So, y'all know how it goes. Anyway, Wilder Fury 3, we'll see if they can build up some momentum. I think they got to change the course of the way they've been promoting this fight, for one. Like, they got something needs to happen different. And listen, this ain't a stab at Fury, but this is reality. We don't need to see a bunch of personal stuff about what you went through and all this and that to try to build up interest in the fight. Okay? That right there is a sad situation, and to live through that, I could imagine what that brother felt like. We don't need Deontay Wilder coming on here talking about racism and bullshit and favoritism and all that, making up excuses like the fight is already written before it happens. They're going to cheat for him. What you need to see is two grown-ass gladiators who's ready to go in here and go to war. And this is about me versus you, not my country versus your country. Not black skin versus white skin. That's not what the fuck this is about. And I think that this fight has, like I said, all the wrong ingredients that they used to build it up. And that's why the fucking plane crashed and burned, because it was all wrong for boxing as far as I'm concerned. And if we can sit here and push a race war, okay? If we can push a race war agenda in boxing and make it successful, that's not a good thing. Because that just means there's a bunch of racist ass people out there that like this kind of shit. And I don't. I'm not interested in that. So my thing is, two fighters come into the ring to fight, may the best man win. Once we start getting into all this, oh, it was because of this, it was because of that, it was because of white privilege. How did white privilege cause you to get your ass kicked? How does, this happened to me, that happened to me? No. Okay, let's see what materializes in the ring. Because when the fight don't live up to the hype, that's when you start to just whip out and piss all over boxing and go, hey, I'm going to keep pissing and keep pissing until we put this fire completely out that we call boxing. And people don't understand that. This couples therapy shit is working with this newer generation. But the boxing diehards is not from this newer generation. It's from the older generation. Let's be real. And that's why the older generation keep talking about how boxing used to be. Because they remember how it used to be. They remember when guys went there and wanted to fight. They remember when, nah, I don't want to see him lose. I want him to win so I can beat his ass. Nowadays, you got promoters sitting here talking about, Bob Arum was talking about he hopes Usyk beats Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's not an elite level fighter. So this little small cruiserweight, blowing up heavyweight, you rather see Fury or Wilder versus him, right? Because Joshua's not an elite level fighter. So I guess if Joshua beats him, the excuse is going to be because he was too small. Well, he was too small for Derek Chisora, right? He was too small for Joe Joyce too, right? But he beat both of them. Now, when I talk about him being smaller, what I'm saying, if Anthony Joshua is on point, then he should be able to capitalize on a lot of things. See, everybody's worrying about Usyk capitalizing on things about Joshua. AJ can fucking fight. Usyk can fight. But if AJ does what he's supposed to, he should beat Usyk a lot easier than people think. If he fight the way he's supposed to. If he goes in there giving Usyk all this respect and making him and treating Usyk like he's the big man in the fight, he can make Usyk stick around and make him look better than what, he should. But, and I don't mean going to just throw a bunch of wild, crazy punches. No, it's not what I'm talking about. Like I said, if he uses physical gifts and do what he has naturally, he should be able to beat Usyk. Now, it's yet to be seen. And y'all know I'm not the type to sit here and tell you, oh, this is what's going to happen. That's going to, no. I just want to see good fights. And like I always say, may the best man win. Regardless of who I want to see win, may the best man win. It's not like it's my kid or my brother or however, you understand what I'm saying? One of my cousins. No, I want to see AJ beat every fighter he get in there with. But at the end of the day, if AJ lose, Aries ain't losing no sleep. I'm not crying over no other man. And I'm not sitting up here making up excuses if he does lose. You never hear me make excuses for any fighter. I'm going to call it down the middle every time. I don't make excuses up. I have no reason to. And again, like I tell everybody, it ain't that serious. Fall back. Because no matter who I like as a fighter, if he get his ass knocked out, it ain't Aries laying on the goddamn canvas looking up counting the damn lights. It's that fighter. So I don't need to walk around here feeling no kind of way about it. And neither do y'all. Just understand, it's just entertainment. That's all it is. And they rich as hell from it. Because we support it. Without us, there's no them. And that's a fact. It's not cliche. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.